So I'm getting sued by Mr. Darnell Williams and the Equal Access Law Firm. Technically, the Equal Access Law Firm is the jockey and Darnell Williams is just the horse that they are choosing to ride, in my opinion. a lot of in my opinions in today's video. This is how I feel. This is my opinion. And yeah, all that good stuff. I want to talk about why I'm getting sued. I want to tell you about what I'm doing about it. And just tell you kind of what's going on, the state of affairs in e-commerce and the world, because unfortunately it is gross, it is disgusting, and it is going to get worse. And even when you do everything you think you should in order to be compliant and make sure that everybody has equal access to your services and amazing grooming products, it doesn't matter, apparently, because there are always loopholes and there is no such thing as a bulletproof website in terms of litigation from these, what I consider. So let me back up for a second. That's the overview of today's video. Today I'm going to tell you why I'm getting sued and what I'm going to do about it and how you can protect yourself and also what you can do if you want to help me. I'm going to get it out of the way up front. If you want to help me, I'm going to link to Pete and Pedro down below. Just be a customer. I've got a discount code. I would love your support. All the funds that I generate from this video and pretty much any video moving forward for the foreseeable future, because this is about to get expensive for me, is going to go to my legal defense. These cases that are becoming so incredibly prevalent are going to get worse. And if you're somebody that has an e-commerce business, you have a website, chances are you're going to get one of the same things, or you're going to be sued like I am at some point, because there are loopholes and there are these attorneys that basically would rather just come after you and make a quick buck as opposed to being noble and honorable and earning money the way that you do and the way that so many small business owners do every single day. And honestly, the small business owners are the ones that are getting attacked and hammered right now. The other day I got a notice that I'm being sued in Illinois from Darnell Williams, or by Darnell Williams. And the whole reason is because he is a visually impaired man and Pete and Pedro, the website, isn't basically conducive for his impairment. And you know, the interesting caveat to this is that I'm going to show you some of the things and the reasons why my website isn't compliant in a second. The interesting thing about this whole situation is that I thought I was compliant because I pay about $5,000 a year for a service called Accessibility. All right, Accessibility is basically that little like man, actually, like, check it out. All right, so you see that little like man at the bottom of the Pete and Pedro website? That basically is a little widget that if you have some type of disability, that widget will be triggered when you go there with your special browser, and then it can actually, or you can customize the experience to make sure that you have a website that you can navigate that is going to be consistent with the needs that you have, including visual impairment and blindness. And so, like, I bought this like years ago, and I thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to take an active role because I saw what was happening out there in the world. A lot of these attorneys were basically going and suing these e-commerce websites. They're basically finding you, and then they'll find a defendant, right? They'll grab him, they'll put them on, they'll say, hey, we'll give you a few $1,000 if you will be the plaintiff on this case. It's really the law firms that are behind this big, disgusting movement. And so they find somebody that'll say, yes, I'll be the dude, right? He's just kicking it, and then they spend $400 to serve you or to file this law case or this lawsuit against you, and then you have to hire an attorney, and you've got to make a decision. You're either going to A, settle it really quickly for about $10,000 to $15,000, and that is what they're betting on, that is what they're banking on. They want you to settle. They don't want to litigate this. They just want to scare the shit out of you, and they want a quick settlement. They know that you've got to hire an attorney in order to defend yourself, but when you get a lawsuit, right, it's scary. And as a small business owner, it's already expensive. Things are getting more expensive. It's super hard running your business. You get hit with something like this, it's like, wait a second, what? Now, sometimes websites aren't compatible or basically up to code, but the tricky thing is that The code is complex, and websites, being an e-commerce business, it's always changing, right? There's so much nuance, and every time you put a new picture on or a new web page or you have a new product, a new variation, new something, right? It's very complex. Everything's constantly changing, and so trying to be compliant in every single aspect on every single page in every single area to make sure that everybody is able to access your website and there are no issues ever is literally an impossible task. And so these attorneys, they know that. And so all they do, they find a website, they do a little of this, a little of that, and they find areas where you're not compliant. And so when I got served, I'm like, wait a second, how am I being served? I've got the service that makes this accessible to pretty much like anybody. So I reached out to my attorney. I said, hey, like, how am I getting sued? He goes, honestly, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you have. Your website is not going to basically be 100% compliant on every page at every point in time. Like, it's just not. It's impossible to do that. Now, there are things you can do to mitigate it, and I, in good faith, did everything that I thought I was supposed to do. Apparently, I'm going to read some of the things that I didn't do in a second, and why Mr. Williams suffered emotional distress and embarrassment and all sorts of stuff from this. I'll show you some of these claims as well. This is all public information. The lawsuit is public. Anybody can go and look this up and read it for themselves. It's literally like legalized extortion, period. Why don't I read you some of the things that were wrong with my website? Maybe then you'll get a better idea. The plaintiff, Darnell Williams, has made an attempt to complete a purchase on PeteandPager.com on April 8th, 2025. He was searching for natural grooming products. He appreciates companies that offer rich selections of premium shave items and body care solutions. This is why he searched for brands renowned for their natural and effective grooming products and accessories. Thus, he accessed PeteandPager.com. Intrigued by the variety and quality, he explored their shaving and bears, there's actually a typo in this, bears category, and also intended to purchase a hair care comb set as a gift. However, while navigating, he encountered numerous accessibility issues on the website. On the website, plaintiff encountered long link descriptions, more than 100 characters, the messages of which were difficult to understand with the screen reading software. so basically, because my links were long, that's a problem for the software. All right, how about this one? This one was also like pretty awesome. The heading failed to describe the section of content it was attributed to. Descriptive and meaningful headings, even when read out of context, help assistive technology users help understand the relationship between different parts of the content. And so what he's talking about is my categories, my headings up top, like in the navigation bar, hair, body, fragrance, bestsellers, take quiz. So they weren't descriptive enough. Also awesome. And so as a result of the defendant's conduct, plaintiff suffered interference with daily activities as well as emotional distress, including, without limitation, emotional and mental anguish, loss of sleep, violation of privacy, humiliation, stress, anger, frustration, shock, embarrassment, and anxiety. So what would you do? So how would you handle it if you're me? Are you going to do what 95% of other companies do, which is try to settle it as quickly, as quietly, and easily as possible for as little as possible and go about your business and give people money that are doing nothing more than trying to exploit a loophole or take advantage of you? Would you do that? Would you just choose to roll over and take it? Or would you decide to say, fuck you, I'm going to fight this. I'm going to fight this because it's wrong. I'm going to fight this because it's disgusting. I'm going to fight this because it's the right thing to do. I'm going to fight this for every small business and entrepreneur out there who isn't willing to do it. I'm going to fight this because fuck you. Because fuck you. Period. What would you do? I think you probably know at this point what I'm going to do. I'm going to fight it. For every ounce of my soul, I could not live with myself if I didn't stand up for myself. I feel like I'm not only standing up for me, I feel like I'm standing up for other hardworking people that just do their best every single day and try to make their lives and the lives of their customers and the lives of the people that work for them better. But instead, you've got these people out there that just want to try to screw you out of your hard-earned dollars. Ugh. So anyway, as you can see, it's upsetting, it's scary, and it's really just frustrating when you think that you've done everything that you can do in order to basically take care of the situation in advance, but it doesn't matter because there are always going to be loopholes. It's frustrating, it's scary. I don't know where this is going to end. I don't know how much it's going to cost. All I know is that I'm not willing to roll over. No, I won't. And so I'm going to fight it. And I'm curious as to what you would do. Down below, let me know. Would you fight it or would you just settle? Knowing that fighting it is going to take longer and going to be more expensive. And you may end up losing in the long run. What would you do? I just can't do it.